What's going on, everybody? It's been about a week now since we got hit with all of the roadmap info about the future of Marvel Contest of Champions. Everything, all the updates, the quality of life changes, the new additions to the game, all that stuff that's going to be rolled out in the next 12 months, sometimes a little bit longer for some of these more ambitious goals. But I figured now would be a cool time just to go over the top 10 things that I'm personally most excited for when it comes to the future of Marvel Contest of Champions. So we're going to start out with number 10, which is the future of Alliance Wars. Now, it's no secret that I'm not a fan of Alliance Wars currently, and they're saying here that in the future, we'll be working on a complete redesign of Alliance Wars. We're still going to have the current version for a little while, but in the future, it is going to be a complete redesign, and it's going to be on the same scale, if not bigger than, the Dungeons 2 Incursions update. So, yeah, we're not talking about just some tiny change where they're adding defender tactics or something like that. We're talking about a huge, complete redesign of the game mode. And I would put this higher on the list just because, I really am excited for the change coming to Alliance Wars, whatever it may be, because it can't be worse than how I feel about it right now. I'd put it higher in the list, but we don't know all the details yet. So, yeah, I'm just excited that it did actually make it into these blogs that they will be reworking Alliance Wars. And I'm thinking for the people who already currently like Alliance Wars, they already like that competitive team-based game mode. If they're going to do a redesign, of course they're going to be thinking about those players, and they're going to want to make sure that those players continue to enjoy whatever Alliance Wars turns into, while also getting new people into Alliance Wars that currently just are fed up with the system. So I see it as kind of a win-win no matter how you feel about Alliance Wars today. Hopefully it'll be an improvement in the future. All right, number 9 on the list is Strikers. So you'll be able to kind of tag in an alliance mate here. Well, wait, maybe alliance mate is the wrong way of saying it. I'm not talking about your alliance. I'm talking about like your teammate, having someone in the same team in a quest and being able to call that person in just with the press of the button. It's a pretty cool idea. Gotta be honest, sometimes I like things like this in games, and sometimes I do want it to just be more of a straight up one-on-one fight. A lot of people have probably played games that have mechanics like this. Sometimes they do them really well. Sometimes they just feel like, what were the devs going for? Just to try to make something look cool, just to show off some in-game tech or something like that. So I'm hoping it really is a fluid part of the game, however Kabam goes about it. It's still, really early on for this, so there's not a ton of information. Otherwise, maybe it would have made it higher on my list here, but as it is, just number 9 right now. What I'm really hoping for is to see some cool combinations, because I don't think it's that interesting just to call in some random champion. But let's say you're a fan of Spider-Man. Maybe you can team up Stealth Spidey and Stark Spidey at the same time, and the debate about which Spidey is better, just play with both of them. Or maybe there could be some really cool interaction if you bring in both Magnetos, since they're getting reworked, and they'll actually be good champions. If you had both of them on the same team, maybe that would elevate Magneto's power in some way. Like things like that could be really cool. So I don't know how this game mode or how this mechanic is going to look, and I'm hoping that it's not used absolutely everywhere. I'm hoping that it's maybe just used in certain modes. Oh, this is really cool too. Imagine being tasked with taking on the Fantastic Four all at the same time. I'm actually more excited about fighting multiple champions with like within the same match more than anything. Like if they could fit all 3 arena fights in there, like, oh man, that'd be sick. But all right, anyway, let's move on. Number 8. So number 8 is just all of the quality of life changes. I'm just going to group them all up in the same category because there's a lot of quality of life changes, and the biggest one by far is the change to energy for Alliance Quest, increasing the cap, reducing the timer from 1 hour to 45 minutes, increasing the start amount of energy. It should just really smooth over the process of Alliance Quest. And when they first announced that there was going to be some change to, Alliance Quest, that's what got me back into For Loki, just because now I feel like, okay, I will be a reliable Alliance member again if the timers are a little bit more lax like this. So that's great. all of the arena quality of life changes, the auto help request there, the help all, the cached filters. So if you select your 6-star champions, if you go back to that arena, it'll show your 6-star champions. All these just little nice changes to arena. The AI change to make it so that they'll actually throw their specials. Beautiful. Some other quality of life changes outside of the arenas and Alliance Quest 2. The attack reduction, also going to put in this category, and the tweak to incursions, where you're going to be able to swap out your champions a bit more. Just in general, it feels like the game is going to be less annoying to play. Some of these little annoyances that we have to deal with, they're just being dealt with, and that's what quality of life changes are all about. So happy to see a lot of that stuff. All right, moving on. This is number 7, raid bosses. So once again, we don't have a ton of information. Otherwise, this would probably make it a lot higher on my list. But like the Alliance War revamp and like Strikers, this is a little bit vague. These are some systems that are a little bit further out, I think, at least. Because, yeah, it says in design, no confirmed launch window. But some of the things that I really like that I'm seeing here is, one, the massive scale battles in which the entire Alliance will take part. That sounds cool. When they say entire Alliance, I'm hoping they actually mean all 30 members and it's not just a battle group thing. But I don't know, man. That's kind of wild to even think about. Like, these Alliance Quest and Alliance War game modes, it already feels like there's so many people participating, and really that's only a third of the Alliance in each battle group. So yeah, if it's actually the entire Alliance, kind of crazy. But then this one gets me even more excited: the unique roles and new ways to play as an Alliance, capturing some of the great moments from comic book and cinematic history. So I don't know exactly what these new ways to play are, but typically, in other games, when we're talking about raid bosses, you have different roles. You have someone who's there to absorb the damage, a tank, right? You have people that heal throughout the battle. You have these glass cannon DPS style champions. So I don't know how raids are going to look in MCOC, but the idea of it is pretty cool, and I'm definitely open to Kabam just going wild with it, man. The game, like Marvel Contest of Champions, it's a great game, obviously, right? Obviously, I like the game. Otherwise, why would I be playing it? But I feel like there hasn't been enough change in recent times. The change has all come through the champions, basically, and there hasn't been much change with game modes and things like that. So these raid bosses, dude, I'm excited for it. All right, moving on. Speaking of change, this is number 6 we're on to right now. Mechanical prototypes, just these 2 different combat mechanics they're talking about. One is root, where you're basically going to be rooting the opponent or yourself, and that just means that they're going to be standing still, essentially. The way it is right now, if you're attacking the opponent, you are knocking them back, or if you evade an attack, you have to dash backwards, right? But maybe you don't want to give up that space. Maybe you could just dex while standing still. And this is kind of scary to introduce to the game, honestly, because if you think about it right now, kind of an underused mechanic in the game currently is if you're on the back wall of the map. It's a scary place to be because you can get cornered, and then, if you get hit with a heavy attack back there, it could be rough. But if you can master just evading on the back wall, because the animation happens faster because you're not actually sliding on the floor, you're just on the wall, you're able to counter attack much quicker, right? So you can retaliate if let's say the opponent's dashing at you. If you're on the back wall, normally you can just swipe left and then counter immediately with a light attack, and you'll get that opening. So it could potentially be an extremely powerful tool in the right hands, and I'm excited that they're thinking about adding something like this. But I'm also, man, we got to be cautious with, like, if it's too good, then it could just break the game and make it so that you never take any damage, which if it's too good, then it's not fun. I want it to be good, just not too good. The one I'm actually more excited for, because I see more variety being possible with this one, and not in a way that would break the game. I don't think this would break the game, at least. This one's called Volume Trigger, or as we prefer to call them, Area of Effect Triggers. And what they sound like: large triggers, attacks, or defensive tools that affect a large area of the battlefield. Imagine traps being laid, healing pads, spiked walls, or any number of unique ways to interact with the battlefield. So, yeah, it's also no secret, if you've been watching this channel for a long time, that I like champions that actually utilize the entire map that you're fighting on. I don't have fun with the champions that you're kind of staying in one spot, which, there's some extremely powerful champions that do this, like Quake, or a lot of the power control champions, like, let's say, Magic. You can just completely lock the opponent down on the right side of the screen, and in small doses I have a lot of fun with that. But I actually have more fun if I'm like fighting for that map control, where I don't want to get backed up too much, but I can use that space to my advantage, maybe back off the opponent when they have a powerful buff, things like that. I have a lot more fun with that. So I'm hoping that like this healing pad thing, that sounds really cool. If you could just lay something on the ground, and as you dash back over it, you're getting some healing or something. Or maybe think about Iceman, where if you put like a pool of ice on the ground, maybe every time the opponent is dashing at you over that pool of ice, maybe their next attack would miss, and you could take advantage of that. Or if they're dashing backwards, it'll kind of it'll leave time for you to dash at them, or something like that. I feel like there's a lot that Kabam can do with something like this, and yeah, this is the type of thing that I am really excited about in terms of just gameplay mechanics. Much more so than Root, even though, like I said before, I think Root has the potential to be more powerful than anything added this way. But yeah, it'll be interesting, and we'll see if this interacts with the raids at all. Maybe that's one of the ways, if you're able to put traps or healing pads on the ground for your alliance mates, things like that. Could be interesting. All right, let's move on now to number 5 on my list here. This is a maybe within 12 months. So likely is going to be a year, maybe even a little bit more than a year. But this is an arena alternative. That's what I have highlighted here. New arena alternative. We're not planning to replace arenas. Let's get that out of the way. We're looking into creating an alternative method to score toward arena milestones and rankings. So I actually like arenas. I like the chill, laid back nature to them, but of course I don't like to just play arena all day, as much as people may think that. Of course it gets boring. It's something that's way more fun to do on stream, because I just get to talk to you guys, and then yeah, we're just hanging out, all grinding some milestones, but if they can make it more interesting and leverage some of the incursions tech, I don't know if I would use the new arena alternative all the time, but just having that option to kind of go back and forth between 2 different game modes, I love that. So yeah, really excited and hopeful that the way this is designed, just borrowing some of the incursion tech, I'm hoping that could be a fun way to keep grinding this game for another few years to come. All right, so moving on now to, this is number 4. Yeah, number 4 on our list. This is, whoops, there we go. Social progression. That's the category I wanted. Had it covered. So social progression, what the hell does that even mean? Well, we don't know entirely yet. Let's read some of the blog post here. Have you ever wanted to compare yourself against your in-game friends? Do you wish you could show off the amazing things you've done without having to send out screenshots? How about showing off your amazing, this sounds like an infomercial or something like that. How about showing off your amazing roster and all the amazing feats you've done in the game? So, I mean, this sounds like some sort of just little fluff content, right? I mean, what is this? This isn't a new game mode. This isn't Like, why did this make it so high on my list of things that I'm actually excited about? Well, I think there's different types of progression in the game, and they're talking about a reputation level system with vanity rewards, things like that. I don't even use the vanity stuff right now. I don't have any of the custom profile pictures that I could use, right? Except for the cheap ones that just cost some gold, but I'm not going to use those. But I think about this in the same way I think about the Legends badge. And the Legends badge originally, when it first came out, actually I wasn't even playing the game when it first came out, but that had to have been a huge deal. There was only 10 people in the entire world that had the Legends badge. Like, damn, man, that's pretty badass if you were one of those 10 people, right? Shout out to the OG legend Brutal DLX. If they can replicate things like that, like, I imagine some of these vanity rewards are going to be pretty easy to obtain, right? But I'm hoping that Kabam can add some really cool things, some really difficult to obtain things that just, I don't know, man. Even if you're not the type of person that brags about stuff like that, it's just something cool to work towards. Like, I didn't go for the Legends badge so that I can tell all my friends that I got the Legends title and so I could brag about it and stuff like that. I got it because it was something to do and it looked cool. Like, that's all I'm looking for out of this mode. I'm looking to just have something else to kind of fuel me to go after some new challenge in the game. And I'm really hoping that Kabam adds more challenge content that is not mandatory to do in order to progress, but they can reward you with these vanity rewards that they're calling them. And yeah, man, I actually talked to Kabam Karma at Comic-Con last year, and he kind of loosely mentioned an idea like this. And honestly, man, I've been excited and hoping that something like this gets added ever since that conversation. There's, we're all used to getting like catalysts and new champions and shards and stuff like that from quests, and there's real value to that stuff. But I think there's also real value to just adding something to your account that says, like, man, you were able to accomplish this thing. That way, if you're looking for a new alliance or something like that, or just want to prove yourself to the current alliance that you're in, you're like, yeah, man, check this out. I was able to do this, and now I got whatever the vanity reward is. So I'm actually really excited about this one. All right, moving on to the top 3 now, though. So number 3 on the list is the buff roadmap, aka champion tune-ups, and I'm also going to include the balancing, which may also include some nerfs. Now, I don't think there's going to be any nerfs anytime soon. I think Kabam, they definitely want to lean way more towards buffs, and only nerf if they really have to. Like, I don't think there's going to be any more balance updates in 2020, and probably not even early 2021 or anything like that. I think they're just, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if we're ever going to see any more nerfs. But anyway, let's just talk about the buffs. That's what most people care about, even though I'm okay with some nerfs. But the buff roadmap here. So they have this kind of cycle that they're going to be going through, where they're going to be tuning up champions, which is no ability changes, just tuning up numbers, torture sentry. Then a little bit more of an update, which numbers and minor ability changes, but largely the same kit, a la Red Hulk or Carnage. And then an overhaul, which is a whole new kit. Think Hulkbuster or Colossus. So they're gonna kind of go through this cycle as the months go by, and yeah, it starts out with the overhaul, then the tune-up, then the update, and then back to one and repeat. So the initial buff is going to be yeah, this is the Magneto. The 2 overhauls, it doesn't say it here, but it's both of the Magnetos, which is really cool. It's about time, right? And then the next one is going to be Punisher 2099, and then after that, Gambit and Falcon. So I'm excited about these for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's more things to talk about each month, more things to get excited for each month. You know, right now, the big thing to talk about is the new champions that are coming out. Because, like I said earlier, the game itself, it doesn't change that much, right? Like we get a new monthly event quest, a new side quest, and you know, sometimes that stuff is interesting to talk about. But the big thing is, okay, these new champions, how is that going to impact everything else in the game? And just to have more of that to talk about each month, it's exciting. The second reason that I'm actually really excited about this stuff is because when I did my McFabio run, when I started the new McFabio account, I pulled a lot of the old crappy champions that they're okay. You know, they helped out, right? Like Electra, for example. It was awesome that I pulled Electra, but at the same time, that champion's been around forever. When I start a new account, I want to play something totally different, and I was so thankful that I pulled Sunspot because it's a champion that I had not played before, and I'm looking for more experiences like that. So the faster Kabam is able to kind of tune up these champions and rework them, the more excited I am about starting new challenge accounts. And it could do them in the same style as the McFabio run, where it's a 7-day challenge, or could do some other challenge. This could open up racing other YouTubers and having fun with that. So yeah, man, I'm really excited. I'm more so excited for like alt accounts than I am for my main account. Like I just pulled Gambit, and okay, it's cool that Gambit's on here because, you know, right now he's kind of crappy and Gambit's a cool character. So hopefully he's going to be good. But I'm much more excited in just the idea of, okay, what if I start a new account and I pull Magneto early on? How crazy would that be? Like that, I don't know, man. That seems really cool to me. So, yeah, pretty excited about that. All right, let's move on though. Number 2 on the list out of the top 10 most excited things for me personally is signature stones. So Sig stones right now, and they mostly talk about 5-star Sig stones here, by the way. The 6-star Sig stones, they do mention somewhere in here that they don't want to make the same mistake with the 6-star Sig stone availability that they did with the 5-star. They don't want to wait so long. But they do want to kind of they're not ready to unleash all that stuff just yet. But anyway, so this is mostly about the 5-stars. Man, 5-star Sig stones, it's unbelievable how difficult they still are to actually get. And it's so important. Like, there's been so many champions that have come through the arena, and I'm just thinking like, well, I could go for them. That's a really cool champion, like Mojo or something, right? I was super excited about Mojo, but then I realized how important his signature ability was to add all that damage to him. And I was thinking, well, okay, is it realistic that I'm going to get all those 6 stones? No. Okay, so I'm not going to go for him. Or the 5-star Awakening gem that was in the Modoc's lab or hotel, or I don't know, whatever it is, the Modoc store, right? The 5-star Awakening gem. Did I value that 5-star Awakening gem? No, I didn't. Why? Because I don't have signature stones. What am I going to do? I'm going to awaken in champion and not take their sig level up? I feel like I might as well just get some other resources and use those. So this actually increases the value of awakening gems. It makes me more excited to actually grind for new champions and actually get to play them instead of just having them in my roster as some, arena fodder for the future or something like that. So yeah, this is a huge deal. It just makes a lot more champions actually playable. So really excited that Kabam, they're making a pretty substantial change. So if you're Cavalier, you're going to get 1 5-star Sig Stone crystal and 1 5-star Sig Stone generic per 22-hour event. So I don't know how hard that's going to be to get, but I'm guessing it's not going to be too bad. So I'm really hoping to get a lot of these. Right now, there's one of the solo events, the event quest completion. That event is garbage. So I'm already kind of at peace with just not scoring in that event. But the other 3 events, I'm hoping that I can get 2 Sig stones two 5-star 6 stones every time those come around, and that adds up. That adds up to be a lot, especially when you know, half of those are generic. So really excited for that change, which brings us to the number one change that I am most excited for the future of Marvel Contest of Champions, which is the solo competitive mode. Solo competitive mode. This is something that we don't really have in the game right now. The closest thing that we have to it is basically the Legends races, like when Labyrinth or Abyss comes out, the first people to complete those, or the monthly event quest or 6x4. That's it, man. That's solo competitive mode in Marvel Contest of Champions. The arena, I guess, is solo competitive mode. You're competing against the champions. That's not a real competitive mode, man. Like, I kind of mentioned it with Alliance Wars, where I want Alliance Wars to be this major driver, this motivator to get these new champions in order to compete. I want that in a solo mode as well. You know, if oh man, like if I can compete against and you know, talk a little trash against my fellow YouTubers or something like that, I'm sure people are gonna be trash talking me too, man, when they're putting up higher scores than me, because yeah, I'm certainly not the best at this game, but I have fun with it, man, and that's all I'm looking for, man. I'm looking for this new mode to just bring that extra motivator to the game that makes me want to get these new champions, even if it's just a synergy champion that's going to help me out in some obscure challenge. Because when it comes to a solo competitive mode, I feel like Kabam could be more flexible here. Maybe some people will disagree, but they say a new meta for one of the things here, a fresh evolving meta experience outside of Alliance gameplay that leverages more of the roster. So that can mean a wide range of things, but I'm hoping that they put some restrictions on this mode, actually, and they change, right? The restrictions change all the time. So maybe it would just be a battle of the tech champions or something like that for one of the rounds. We have no idea how this is gonna look, but yeah, a real progression. Anytime there's progression, oh man, this word right here, oh yeah. Anytime there's progression in something, man, that's why I'm playing this game, to progress my my roster and all that, right? This is the only thing that is kind of concerning, actually. Less Kabam, more Summoner. I don't know how to really feel about this one, because it says 99% of content is created by Kabam, meaning even in Alliance gameplay, you still face off against Kabam design nodes and buffs. This will be different in solo competitive mode. So, I mean, what does that really mean? Like, are players making the challenges? I don't know if I like that so much. Because what if the challenges suck? What if they're just not interesting? I don't know, but we'll have to see. In any case, yeah, I see this as like the major driver right now. Even like I'm just thinking about the solo competitive mode makes me want to hop into the arena to make sure I have the units, to make sure that I can, you know, get new champions going forward, things like that. Like it's what MCOC needs. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Also, quick disclaimer too, in case people didn't read this, this is not synchronous PvP, so you're not directly fighting each other. It's just you're competing against one another at a specific challenge. So but yeah, that's the top 10 things that I'm personally most excited for the future of Marvel Contest of Champions. Kind of curious how everyone else feels, and you don't need to give a top 10 list unless you want to, but if you could maybe sound off with maybe a top 3, or even just the number 1 most thing you're excited for, something like that, put that in the comments, because I'm kind of curious. It's hard to gauge how everyone else feels about all this stuff, but yeah, that'll be a good way to look at it. But in any case, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.